All right. Yeah, it's in Europe. It's a small little country. It's on the coast of the Mediterranean, kind of. It only has a coastline, but it's there. Um, all right. Hi, guys. I'm back. I'm going to talk about Bosnian food. So I'm just going to real quick in these two pictures. Do you guys like corn? Do you guys eat corn a lot? Would you ever buy it on the side of a street? Would you just, you see a stall and you're just like, oh, I really want some corn? You think you would? I didn't think I would. And then I go to Boston
Nathan.
and they have corn on the side of the street. And you go and you buy a cup and it's corn in a cup and they put seasoning on it. And so I had chicken seasoning and chili seasoning. So good. Yeah. This is me. Here's a picture of me since you can't see me. And that was from when I was in Bosnia. I grew up in Lincolnton, North Carolina, so I'm from North Carolina, born and raised. And I lived in Bosnia and Herzegovina, or I'll probably just call it Bosnia, just to shorten it so it's less of a mouthful. And I was there from August 2019 until March 2020 last year. Where do you guys eat lunch? You guys usually eat lunch in a cafeteria, right? So growing up, I always ate lunch in a cafeteria, but when I went to Bosnia during school, instead of having a cafeteria, there was no cafeteria in the school, and so they had like 5 different bakeries surrounding the school, and I had my favorite one, and I would go there every single day, and I would buy just some baked good, and you can see a picture of what it looks like inside of a bakery, and the food is so good in a bakery. A lot of bread, lots and lots of bread. And yeah, so common food, as I said, is so big there. Do you guys like bread? So bread is eaten with every single meal. There was actually a joke I heard that Bosnians eat bread with bread. So if they're having a sandwich for a meal, they're gonna have a slice of bread to go with it. So very big, and these are some of the breads. The one in the top corner, that one, it's fried bread, and it's made very simple. It's just like flour and I think water or something. And you just fry it, and we had that so much. My host mom would make that almost every week. And yeah, and then another common food is you always had a salad to go with your meal. But salads are different. Do you see that picture of Bosnian salad? Do you guys want to take a guess of what's in the Bosnian salad? So the only ingredients in a Bosnian salad is tomatoes, cucumber, and onion, and put some salt on it. And there's a salad. Yeah. And that's what you have in the summer and the spring, because that's when the vegetables are fresh. And then in the winter, you're going to have what's called kiseli kupis, which is pickled cucumber, or possibly cucumber. It's also, in America, it's most similar to sauerkraut. And so that's what you're going to have in the winter because nothing's fresh. And then 2 more common food that you eat a lot in Bosnia are potatoes and meat. They love potatoes and they love meat. So in the bottom corner, I have a picture of a meal from when I was in Bosnia, and you see all these common foods. You got the loaf of bread there, so I would just cut myself a slice and eat it. And then I have there's a stew with meat and potatoes. And you can't really tell, but behind my mug there's a Bosnian salad. And that's the typical dinner meal. The most famous and most popular Bosnian food is called cevapi. And this is the food that like food bloggers will come from around the world just to taste cevapi, and it's the best in Bosnia. And it's cevaps, which are these little meat, and they kind of look like sausages. And you put that, and you can eat that on your own. So sometimes my host dad would grill those, and we would just eat them plain. Maybe have some mayo on it or something. But usually the traditional way to eat it is to eat it on somun, which is the bread you see, and you have some chopped beef on the side, which you can get that or you cannot get that. It's up to you if you don't like onion. And then another popular way to eat it is with kaimak, which is this cream they have, and it's not in America, which is very upsetting to me. I can't find it anywhere, but it's very similar to sour cream. Do you guys like sour cream? I was obsessed with it as a kid, but I was told I was weird and crazy. The next famous, like, next biggest meal that we have, my host mom would make these about every other week, and it would last a couple of days because she'd make like 2 really big ones. And that's Bosnian pita. So there's a very common form of pita bread in here in the US, but it's different from that. So pita is so you take dough as you see me and my friend doing in the top corner, and you spread it really, really thin. And then once you have it really thin, you're going to put a topping or like a filling inside, and then you roll it up. And when you cook it, it looks golden and flaky like you see in the pictures. And when you bite into it, it just kind of falls apart. It's so good. And Bosnian pita is usually you take it, you eat it with a glass of yogurt. Do you guys drink yogurt? Some people like yogurt, some people don't. This yogurt is actually really, really sour. It's kind of a mixture between yogurt and sour cream. So they like sour stuff, but it's very good. Multiple types of Bosnian pita. So you have sirnica, which is where you put cheese inside of the pita. And that's my personal favorite. It tastes so good. I love cheese. I'm obsessed with cheese. I will eat cheese all the time. My least favorite one was zeljanica, which is pita with spinach. Do you guys like spinach? And the next one, this is the most famous one. It's burek, which is pita with meat. And as I said earlier, Bosnians love their meat in almost every single meal. And then the final one is krampirusha, and that's pita with potatoes. They're all very good, but sirnica is my personal favorite.
All right, which one would you guys want to try? So I'll tell you the different options, and you'll just only raise your hand. So the different options are cheese, spinach, meat, or potatoes. Meat and potatoes look like they're maybe the most popular.
It's the same in Bosnia. Everyone loves meat and potatoes. All right, moving on to the one that's going to make us all wish dessert will come quickly tonight. Dessert in Bosnia is so popular. My host made a dessert every week. Almost every single night we had dessert. We'd have it watching TV, and we'd have tea with it or coffee. So it's very, very popular. These are some of my favorite ones that I had when I was in Bosnia. So you have the ruske kape, which translates to Russian hats, because it looks like the traditional hat in Russia. And I really like this one because it has coconut and chocolate, and I love coconut and chocolate. The next one is hermashitse, and this is a biscuit or a cookie drenched in syrup. It's just so much syrup. It's so good. And then the next one is tufahia, and this is you take an apple and you cook the apple and you drench this also in syrup, lots of syrup, and sometimes you can put walnuts on it, and they have whipped cream on this one. And last but definitely not least is tulambe, and these are also another dessert that is drenched in syrup. They really love their syrup. And yeah, these are probably my least favorite of all of them, but they're good. They're still very good. And continuing with desserts, because there's never enough desserts, am I right? We have probably the 2 most famous ones in Bosnia. These are the most popular. Palacinke, which the literal translation is pancakes. But I don't know about you, but these don't look like pancakes I eat in my house. They're very simple to make. My host mom, we would make these sometimes nightly. We'd have them for like 2 weeks straight. She'd just mix some flour, put some sugar in, and she'd bake them. And you can usually eat them with Nutella, or you can put fruit in them. And some places there was shops specifically for palacinke, and you could specifically buy meat. You could put like meat in your pancakes and vegetables and make them for like dinner and stuff. But my personal favorite was always the ones with chocolate. um, and then baklava is a very famous one. It's much harder to make, and I actually didn't realize that for a while. But my host mom made these for the first couple months. Almost every single week, she would make baklava for me, which is very sweet of her. And so baklava are these little cakes, and they have these very, very thin layers. I don't know if you can kind of see that in the picture. I tried to choose one that has very thin layers that are filled with, specifically in Bosnia, it's usually made with walnuts, but you can fill them and make them with kind of whatever you would like, depending. It usually depends on what country and is what they're gonna have. But yeah, they're very, very good. Would you guys rather have halachinke or baklava? Thankfully, baklava is actually you can find it in North Carolina some places, depending on where you go. Well, it's in a lot of Greek restaurants. Highly recommend you try it.